When we talk about motivation, it's not only in terms of money, but encouraging staff, appreciating their work, being human, listening to them. The one thing I'm most proud of is when an intern passes out of WACSI and comes back as a staff member. I see WACSI as a big institution, standing firm and strong on the anchor that has been built. I see WACSI growing.
Now you see her age, and new people say she must go and rest. And the government says with her age. Now you can see that she looks, should I give you an age? About 25. Because
I would say that my mom did an excellent job at WACSI.
Dear viewers, once again we bring to you another interesting episode of 15 Minutes in WACSI, the special show that is dedicated for civil society actors to share insights about their work, to inspire one another and to learn from one another. If you enjoy watching 15 Minutes in WACSI, do not hesitate to subscribe to our YouTube channel to be the first viewers to receive any updates that we share here. On the show today, we will be talking to an interesting guest. We are bringing you right inside WACSI to talk to one of the pioneer staff of the West Africa Civil Society Institute, one who has served over a third of her career serving civil society while working for WACSI. She has served at the Institute for over 14 years, and she has graciously come to the end of her service. To appreciate her for the work she's done, to ensure that you and I can learn from her great experience, understand some of the challenges that she overcame and that the Institute has overcome to get to where we are today, we will be talking to none other than Madam Katherine Adarkwa, the first staff of the West Africa Civil Society Institute here in Ghana, and we are very pleased to have you on the show, Madam Katherine. You are very much welcome.
Thank you very much, Jim, and thank you for the opportunity to share my story at WACSI.
A very beautiful story, ladies and gentlemen, and just for you to know, we call her Mama WACSI. In every way, she is very motherly, she is very caring. She's been there for all of us when some of us were very young to this very moment when we are now grown into men. Can you tell us, WACSI was an idea some years ago in the mid-2000s, and today WACSI is an institute that is serving the civil society community in West Africa. How did it move from an idea to what we have today?
Great. I remember in June 2006, I saw an advert in the Ghanaian dailies for the position of a finance and admin officer for West Africa Civil Society Institute. I must be honest, at that time I didn't know what a civil society organization was. But I was interested in the position and I applied. I was called for interview, and in July 2006, I got the appointment for the position. So I accepted the offer, and on the day that I was supposed to start work, I went to the office. And to my surprise, it was an empty office. The first information I had was to see one Mrs. A.C. Sutherland Addy, She happened to be one of the initial board members of WACSI. She was also a board member of OSIWA. OSIWA is Open Society Initiative for West Africa. And the idea of setting up WACSI came from OSIWA. So I went to meet Mrs. Sutherland Addy, who was at the time a lecturer at the University of Ghana. So we had our initial conversation. What she told me during the conversation was that I have been recruited as the first staff of the institute to set up the office.
What would you say were the highlights of the first few days or first few years as the first staff in the institute?
The first few months, I would say, was very challenging, but I had support. Even though I was the initial staff, I had support from Mrs. Sutherland Addy. I had frequent meetings with her, and she guided me in setting up the office. I also had frequent phone meetings with staff in OSIWA. The other wonderful support I had in the initial stages was from my husband. When I told him the situation, what he told me was that, don't be afraid, I will support you. So setting up the office was challenging, but I had some support from other people. Cleaning the office from top to bottom, I had to bring in my family members to clean the offices, to make it habitable. And all with the support of my husband. We did all this, got furniture, electricity, water, telephones, and equipment. The first laptop that I started working with in WACSI was from my husband's office. He loaned it to me to be able to start the work.
I know in the life cycle of WACSI, there's been a transition from the first executive director to the current executive director. Now, can you tell us how that transition went and how you managed it?
Okay, so in 2007, our first executive director was recruited, and her name is Thelma Ekiyo. She's a Nigerian. She joined in July 2007, and that is when actual program work started in WACSI. Now, Thelma was very dynamic, very enthusiastic, very passionate, very hardworking. So what started as an idea started growing when Thelma joined as executive director for WACSI. As I mentioned earlier, we started our capacity building initiatives, training programs for civil society organizations, and we started some forums, that started to build our policy influencing and advocacy unit. So yes, that is how it started. And in December 2009, we had the surprise from Thelma that it was time for her to move on. So she tendered in her resignation letter, which was accepted by the board, and she left in December 2009. From January 2010, we did not have an executive director. So the board also decided that we could not work without an executive director for long. So we put out the vacancy announcement for an executive director. And in October 2010, our second executive director joined us in the person of Nana Afajin. And she has been there as executive director since.
The journey, the transition from one executive director, from the first executive director to the second, that was a very short period, but a very long period from what you've explained.
Yes.
And was there ever a moment, even beyond that period, during your 14-year stay at WACSI, was there ever a moment that you thought of quitting? That seems to be a joker, you know.
Yes.
And can you tell us about that? Because
There
that's
was.
interesting for some of us. To us, it is like you had glory days all through. So it's good to just share. And how did you overcome those moments to stay faithful, to stay loyal to the civil society community that WACSI serves?
You know, in every organization, you find personal differences. And I had that challenge getting to the end of 2009. And it got to me so much that I thought I could not take it any longer. So I wanted to quit. When I got home, I told my husband about it, and my husband, as usual, encouraged me, and I stayed on.
That's a very touching story, and you know, for our viewers, it's quite interesting. There are moments in your organization you can face these challenges. It is important to fall back to your support system, whatever that support system may be. Fall back on it and get that momentum, because WACSI is where it is today because of very wonderful, hardworking and loyal staff like Madam Katherine. And that you said 2009, that means if you had left by 2009, maybe we wouldn't have been doing this story today. You know, thank you so much for staying on, and once again, thanks to your wonderful husband. And what is that one thing you are most proud of as the mother of WACSI, as we call you, Mama WACSI?
The one thing I'm most proud of is when an intern passes out of WACSI and comes back as a staff member.
So, well, interesting response, because, dear viewers, for those of you who do not know, I was an intern, and so hearing this, you know how I can be feeling together with my colleague who is in the background here. It's quite interesting for us to know, and that actually just took the next question, because you've practically recruited all staff at WACSI, including all the interns at WACSI. I just want you to share with us your experience in the recruitment process, because that's a key process for many organizations. That's a key stage of WACSI's lifetime. So what is the recruitment process like? What did you enjoy most about that process during your stay at the Institute?
Yes, so the recruitment process in WACSI starts with job description, announcement of the vacancy. We collect applications, we go through the shortlisting process, and then to the interview. I must say that WACSI's interviews are very competitive, and some candidates who have been recruited have also mentioned that our interviews are difficult. But this process helps us to get the best candidates for appointment to WACSI. Talking to candidates and interviewing them, you realize that some have a lot of knowledge about civil society, some don't, or have very little knowledge about civil society. But when they come, they are recruited and they get involved with civil society work. They develop their interests and they are very passionate they get very passionate about the work.
And now, there is, within civil society, there is this experience of staff attrition, staff coming, staff leaving. You know, you've been at WACSI for almost a decade and a half. What is the experience in WACSI like?
Yes, WACSI has seen some staff coming and leaving. Some because they want to move on or they have found better opportunities. Some because of non-performance. So yes, we have seen a few staff who have come and left, but I would say that those staff are in low numbers. We don't have huge numbers of staff leaving at one time and all that, yes.
And your time in WACSI has come to an end, as I can put it officially, but you will remain an ambassador, and in this case, ambassador emeritus of the institute. You know, where do you see WACSI 10 years from now, 25 years from now?
I see WACSI as a big institution, standing firm and strong on the anchor that has been built. I see WACSI growing because of the sustainability initiative that we have taken on. We are building the capacity of other civil society organizations to be sustainable themselves and to see themselves beyond aid or donor funding. And WACSI as a leader, practicing this sustainability initiative, I believe that if we continue in that line and diversify our funding, not only depending on donor funding, it will take us far.
Great. Thank you very much. And back to you. Mm-hmm. At this stage of your life, what are the plans ahead?
Oh, the plans. The plans. Well, I must say that if not for COVID-19, I don't think I would be here for you to be interviewing me by now. My plans was to travel far and wide to see much of the world. Yes, to relax and enjoy my pension. 35 years of work, 14 in WACSI, 21 in other UN organizations and, you know, USAID projects, has taken quite a toll on me. So I just wanted to relax and enjoy my pension. And take care of my grandchildren.
And take care of your grandchildren.
And spend more time with my husband.
And spend... That's wonderful. That's wonderful.
My wife is a go-getter. You know, she, in her dictionary, she says there's nothing like I cannot do it. So whatever challenges she goes through, she knows that in the end she will be successful. So whatever she was doing, I know she was doing it for the family and Mother Ghana and to the glory of God. No matter what type of work your wife is doing, you must help her, because in the end you are helping yourself. And I wanted to chip in something, but I wanted her to finish because due to her work schedules, I've learned how to cook. I thought she was going to say that. By the time she comes home, food is ready. Now you see her age, and you people say she must go and rest. And the government says with her age. Now you can see that she looks, should I give you an age? About 25. Because the stress, though she sometimes goes through some stress, but at least if she goes through stress from there, your wife, a message that I'm giving, a wife goes through stress and she comes home and the stress is there. By sister, she will be too old and you cannot even enjoy your life together as a couple. So this is my humble message or advice to the young men. Please take your wives as jewels, so treat them well.
I would say that my mom did an excellent job at WACSI. I remember at that time, because she was the only staff at WACSI, she used to travel to Senegal and other African countries for meetings and other stuff. So I had to take up the role of being a mini mother, being a mini Mama WACSI at that time. So I think she did an excellent job, and I've seen over the years that she hasn't been a mother to only her biological children. She's been a mother to a whole lot of people in and around the world, West Africa, Ghana, and around the world. I'm saying this because of the interns that she mentored in WACSI. They call her Mama. And even the past Mother's Day, she had a lot of calls from all over the world, people wishing her Happy Mother's Day and all that. And I know that a lot of young girls have emulated what she was doing in WACSI. And I also have been able to learn a lot from her in the house, in the corporate world, and a whole lot of things. She gives me advice on what to do, what not to do. And I call her my support system. And I'm glad that I'm her daughter.
Oh, thank you so much for talking to us. Thank you very much. That was so sweet. This particular episode, 15 Minutes in WACSI, it's for you. It's for WACSI. It's for us to share our experience, to inspire one another, for us to tell the stories that make civil society to bubble and to continue to be an exciting partner in contributing to the development of West Africa. If you enjoyed this episode, do not hesitate to subscribe to our YouTube channel. Be the first recipients of any show, any such shows that we post on YouTube. And of course, keep following us. You can follow us on Facebook, on Twitter, and of course on our website. We are ever ready to serve you and to bring the best about civil society to you. Thank you very much, and thank you very much for coming on the show.